Greetings to all and sundry. Chancellor North Wales here. This is time for the May build, the Mig25U two-seater from Condor Models. The MiG-25 is an interceptor aircraft built for countering air targets in all weather conditions, by day and by night, and in dense hostile electronic warfare environments. The MiG-25 constitutes part of the Russian S-155P missile interceptor system and is produced by Mig RSK, which is based in Moscow, and the Sokol manufacturing plant at Nizhni Novgorod in Russia. The Mig-25 series are known by the Nato codename Foxbat, are in service in Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, India, Iraq, Algeria, Syria and Libya. The Mig-25 is one of the fastest combat aircraft ever produced, capable of achieving speeds in excess of Mach 2.83. Production ended in 1984. So the aircraft is armed with 4 air-to-air missiles, either radar homing or heat-seeking, and it's not fitted with a gun. The Mig-25U, the two-seater conversion trainer for the Mig-25 interceptor, is fitted with a new nose section with 2 separate cockpits. It has no radar and no combat capability. The NATO code name of the two-seater is the Foxbat C. So this came from airforcetechnology.com. Here are some stats for the aircraft, and at the end of the day you can pause this bit to read it in your own time. Propulsion was powered by a pair of Tamansky afterburning turbojets, and at the end of the day this is a pure Russian speed machine. All the data here is courtesy of Wikipedia. And here are just a few more pictures of the aircraft. I do like the flat grey paint scheme, and that's really something I was aiming to emulate in this particular project. I bought the kit last year from Chester Model Centre for £16. It was one of those lucky finds that you certainly don't pass up, as I didn't know of any other kits of this particular type. The sprue quality is pretty hit or miss, and there are faint panel lines and quite a bit of fine flash. Detail is a bit basic in places. Really, most places it's pretty basic, but it's usable. And that shows the wing, the nose section and the air intakes. The decal sheet is basic but okay. The decals weren't going to give me any problems, but there wasn't much there with. Construction began with the aft fuselage. This requires a great deal of test fitting, trimming, sanding and all that other fun of my builds. Every joint needed test fitting and filling, though some of the issues were made worse by me, as I can sometimes over trim and over sand and be a little bit overzealous during the fitting phase. I used shim strips on the wing roots melted in with Tamiya Extra Thin. I like shim strips as I do think they give you a stronger joint. It's actually closer to like a welded assembly, where the shim is a filler material. As with most builds, I used Squadron putty and Delac Products putty. The Squadron putty needed more drying time, but it's better for heavy gaps and steps. Many of the seams were filled, sanded and reworked, and there was considerable rescribing with this one. Every aspect of the intakes required work. They needed to be filled inside and out. The fit was not good, especially to the aircraft, and later on I added an additional inside face on the outer wall of the intake. Every panel line was so faint that it needed rescribing. Likewise, every joint needed filling and some attention. The indicated joint was filled with thinned down with water deluxe products perfect putty, layered up in multiple layers, applied with a brush and then sanded down. I put thin masking tape on the location areas for the underwing pylons so they don't get painted, to make sure that the glue sticks them well. I've had trouble with this in the past, particularly with my pylons. After a Tamiya dark grey XF54 base coat, I applied Tamiya XF3 to act as a chromate paint applied to Russian aircraft. This was the base for the XF80 Royal Light Grey. By keeping the air pressure low, I was able to let a hint of the chromate yellow show through in places, very subtly. The yellow paint revealed areas that I needed to repair the scribing with filler and then rescribe again. And I think rescribing was a major story of this one. I just wanted the panel lines to come out right on it. After XF80 grey, I masked the panel lines with white tack, then progressively slightly lightened the tone by gradually mixing white with the XF80 and applied partial graded layers, and this sort of built it up in progressively lighter tones. I then masked around the nose the dielectric panels after fuselage and applied matte black. Yeah, I didn't get a picture of it all masked up as it should be, so here's just with a basic grey, and after I did the work with the additional tonal adjustment. After spraying the aft area Vallejo metallic beryllium, I highlighted the panel lines with Flory Pro Modeler wash, the brown colour, on the base of Johnson's Clear, and tidied up any dodgy spots. Some panel lines were rescribed at this stage and highlighted using pencil. Normally use black Flory Pro Model wash, this time I used brown. In the meantime, I worked on the detail parts like the undercarriage. I also fabricated some intake and exhaust covers. I tidied up the metallic area with hand brushing, as I'd applied too much dark wash and wasn't really happy with it. The decals were basic but went on without too many problems, and they settled so well with microset and microsole. I then focused on blending them with Tamiya weathering powders. I also blended and faded in other areas. The final coat of Tamiya XF86 flat clear sealed the surface. I then attached the undercarriage, the bay doors and intake covers. The pitot tube on the nose was a dreadful part that just does not look right. The red trim around the canopies I painted freehand. A bit nervous about doing it, but it worked out okay, I think. And there it is, finished. It's good to have the two-seater there, and if you actually look at the photos, you can see where I used the Tamiya yellow weathering powder with the accentuation, and I think I put quite a lot of effort in on just getting this decal and marking blending, so they don't look like they're just sitting on the surface. But as the aircraft paint wears and fades, I think the decals and markings need to go in the same direction, so they need to be in balance and in harmony. The final coat of the matte does help bring it all together and secure it all together, and because this aircraft is not in a mode rolling a flight line with a pilot or two guys on board, I thought intake covers would be more appropriate. And if you also look, you can see that there's pitot tube covers which were just painted on with the Revell paints. I really enjoyed this build. It was a challenging and it had fit issues, but it was well worth the effort. Not sure if I've built a Condor kit before, but I don't think so. It's great to have a Mig25 two-seater in the collection to sit next to the Hasegawa single-seater, but now I'll be on the lookout for the Recce Bird. The ICM kits reviewed by Detail Scale Review look tempting for that. So the next build's going to be something a little bit more slower, a bit more sedate. Another helicopter, I think. So guys, thank you for watching. God bless. This is Chancellor North Wales, signing out.